How we feeling today, man?
Feeling pretty good.
Pretty good.
Feeling pretty good.
It was an unbelievable day. On a night where we had a football doubleheader.
Yeah.
The baseball doubleheader, at least game one, may have stolen a lot of the thunder. We'll get to that. But
I'm all the way.
no one pitched a perfect game. No one pitched a perfect game in the baseball.
That's true.
But a quarterback did last night. Jared Goff and the Lions hosting the Seahawks. Seattle have beaten them 6 straight meetings, including playoffs. Picked this up 10 minutes to go in the third. Jared Goff, David Montgomery, Dominique, how about the moves?
Yeah, this is insane. It's just incredible, physical dominance right here. And then a speed burst at the end. Watch this. Pew, get out to the edge. David Montgomery, no one wants to get in the way.
Little
Kick
pancake
step.
over there.
That's a 40-yard gain for Montgomery, and then 2 plays later, Goff, who was 12 for 12, makes it 13 for 13, finding Tim Patrick and setting up the Lions. How about Goff just rolling all the dice?
Yeah, the play action pass was working immaculately well. He was hitting all of their receivers throughout the course of the game, even checking down to the running backs.
And then, Jeff, we just saw it in the top plays. Tricky Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Look at the separation. Look at the separation with Goff right there. The speed, the athleticism, and the catch. Perfect night for my man.
He was perfect with the hands as well as throwing it last night.
Late hands.
Yeah, nice catch.
Lions at 28-14 lead. Now, Seahawks would score, make it 28-20, and it's Goff, and it's Jamison Williams. And when Jamison Williams breaks free, they're not going to get him.
Speed kills. They've been trying to find ways to get him involved, and they've done a good job so far this season. Jameson Williams really takes this offense over the top.
Throw that one down
Dang
over the
it.
goal post. Lions a 35-20 lead going to the fourth, but not giving up is Kenneth Walker. Watch the moves. Kenneth Walker had 3 touchdowns in this game, Jeff.
Hit the brakes. Look at the acceleration. This is the part they just scary. That man with that size to get to the edge, outrun everybody. Great play. Great game actually coming back for Walker.
35-27, huge play. Fourth quarter, 4th and 3. Seahawks go for it, and they get it, but wait, there's a flag. They're going to call OPI on Tyler Lockett. Good call?
I'm surprised by it, but as a DB, I got to say, I'm happy to see it called.
Is it a good call, Jeff?
No, I don't like it. Offensively, it should happen all the time. We already played disadvantaged.
That then sets up this Goff for St. Brown. Little toe tap there.
Unreal.
Jared Goff finishes 18 of 18 for 292 yards, threw 2 touchdowns and caught another. The Lions get an impressive win on Monday Night Football against the previously unbeaten Seahawks. So here's Goff, the uninspiring start to the season. Remember, we were talking all about his QBR. It was down below all these different guys. Well, this was his signature game. Perfect on 18 throws. That's a new NFL record for most attempts without an incompletion in a game. The previous record was Kurt Warner in 2005, who had only thrown 10 balls in that game. So, Dan Graziano, I feel like there's been a lot of, with all the talk about how good Minnesota has been, like this was supposed to be and is supposed to be Detroit's year. We're only a quarter of the way into the season. But they sort of gotten forgotten a little bit with the great coaching job in Green Bay and what they've been doing in Minnesota. Did the Lions and their quarterback in particular last night remind everybody of something?
I think so. I think it was an important night for the Lions to kind of muscle up and be like, all right, look, we still are the team in the NFC that you're going to have to beat. Like, look, they're playing. It's important to note that Seattle was playing without 4 defensive starters, and that obviously had some kind of impact. But Seattle's a good team, and the Lions took it to them. I think you saw a lot of different things. That Jamison Williams catch reminded me of a conversation I had in training camp with their offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, and he was talking about Jamison Williams and saying, we feel like we can use him on different throws than we used to, like in the middle of the field. Like, he's not just going to be a downfield speed guy, that he really made those kinds of advancements this year. And I think when you look at a team that was 30 minutes away from the Super Bowl last year, how could they improve? That's one area where they start to look a little scary.
I love the Lions, but you get a little nervous about calling them the best team in the NFC when you look at what's happening on the other side of the ball. They still have not been able to manufacture a consistent pass rush.
Right.
And the DBs haven't stepped up to the level that we expected when they drafted Arnold in the first round and when they brought over Carlton Davis. These guys, Carlton Davis had a tough time last night, but to be fair, everyone has a tough time against DK Metcalf.
6'4", 250, and fast.
So that division may have the 3 best teams in the NFC.
Absolutely.
If you wanted to argue that in some order, Minnesota, Detroit, Green Bay look like they may be the 3 best teams in the NFC, and I get it. I hear you, Tampa. I hear people will have an argument to be made here, and Washington, and there's a long way to go. The 49ers are banged up, a lot of injuries out there. But which is the best team in that division? If I would ask you, when all is said and done, Which one of those three teams is going to wind up?
I'm going to say
like
Minnesota Vikings, and I'll say it.
You're
this way.
buying in.
I am. But here's why. I think Minnesota is built very similar to Detroit. They have a very good offensive line.
Yeah.
They're not quarterback centric, and this is no slight to either quarterback, but their quarterback doesn't have to be the best player on the field for them to win games. The difference for me with Minnesota and Detroit right now is Minnesota's defense. They have set themselves apart. So you have Jefferson, you have Jones on the offensive side for the Vikings. Their defense is making more plays. Brian Flores is confusing people. He puts a lot of stuff in. They can create pressure. That's the why I'm giving them a slight advantage. And listen, Sam Darnold has played fantastic football. But again, he doesn't have to be the best player week in and week out for them to win, and same for Detroit.
Yeah, I think Jeff almost won me over to joining him because of the defense, but there's a difference between Sam Darnold and Jared Goff. So you're right. I think I think with Justin Jefferson as an ultimate playmaker in a real defense, I like the Vikings a little bit better, but I've seen that quarterback Jared Goff make plays to get his team to the Super Bowl, frankly.
Well, yeah, and he's right. It's not the first time he made those big-time throws in the playoffs. Yeah, I think the Lions on the back end of the defense will get better. They're counting on a rookie back there. I imagine he'll improve as the season goes along. And, yeah, they need to find something to augment the Aiden Hutchinson in the pass rush.
Yeah.
You know why I like Green Bay? Because they have a quarterback who's not on that level.
Yeah.
They have a quarterback who's a level up. Let Jordan Love get healthy. It's early in the season.
It is.
He almost brought them all the way back in that crazy game the other day against Minnesota. This is going to be a great divisional race. They may be right now the three best teams in the NFC. In the meantime, the other game last night, the Dolphins and the Titans, and you've got Tua on the side, of course, not playing. First quarter, Will Levis, and doing things that, quite candidly, we're sort of getting to know him well for, just throwing the ball directly to the other team.
Oh, a defensive back sprint and
Jeff, what do we see there on the shoulder?
Yeah, he's stretching out, lands on that right shoulder, and you can tell he smarted as soon as he hit the ground, going to the sideline, getting looked at.
Taking it in for the score. Titans go on to win it somewhat easily by a score of 31-12, so no longer on the list. He's missed 2 games since suffering his 4th diagnosed concussion over the last 5 years. Last night, Adam Schefter gave this update on his condition.
The fact of the matter is he has been symptom-free, and he has been meeting with neurologists. And I don't believe that anybody's told him anything right now to dissuade him from want to playing. And I think there's a feeling here that he is bound to come back. And for all the talk there was about Tua Tagovailoa and how he should stop playing and how he should retire, the fact of the matter is there's a real possibility that when his 4 games are up on injured reserve, that he's going to be back in the Miami Dolphins lineup.
So, look, I mean, there's the emotion of the moment, right? I mean, we were all in here on the morning after that game, and you have that immediate visceral reaction, and so many people watch it and they say, oh, my goodness, he should never play again. And then a little time goes by and he gets whatever it is he hears from his doctors. I mean, clearly my position is and always has been, this is his decision to make with his family and all the rest of that. Sure. But it sounds like that decision has been made.
Yeah, and you can tell by the Dolphins and what they've done. They believe he's coming back. So whatever conversations have been had, I mean, I would have thought if they thought he was going to be out the entire season, they would have went and found a replacement, go try to trade for a veteran to come in and help them. You've seen how they struggle without Tua being on the field. So I think the decision's already been made.
No reason to rush back, though, because it doesn't look like this team is very good with or without Tua, honestly. And before he got hurt, they were struggling against the Bills. So I'm not sure that this team has playoff aspirations, depending on whether he shows up or not.
The way they've played without him makes me think he must be the greatest quarterback in the history of the league because he made the offense go and it doesn't do anything without it. Look, week 8 is the earliest he can be back, right? They put him on IR to give him time, so they didn't have to have this every week, are you, aren't you? So, and they have a bye in week 6 or 7, I think 6. So week 8's the earliest we would see him. He has that time to continue to get whatever information he needs to base his decision on, and we'll see. But it does sound like he and they are not ruling out the possibility that he comes back.